Well, welcome to the session once again, and we are going to discuss about the conversion of active voice sentences into passive voice sentences in the perfect tenses. Well students, we are provided with three perfect tenses. Those are present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. In this, we are going to see how a present perfect tense active voice is going to get converted into passive voice, and past perfect active voice get converted into passive voice, the same manner with future perfect tense. Now I have framed few examples for you to have a very easy understanding, as we have got a lengthy explanation in our previous sessions. This time it's not required at all because we already knew the structure and all, so very quickly we can do all the passive voices. See, when you observe the first sentence, Asha has documented a report. This is actually present perfect tense, right? So I can say that this is an active sentence. How can I say that this is an active sentence? Has documented, it shows a direct action. So I can read that this is one of the active voices in the present perfect tense. If I would like to convert this into passive voice, I need to take the help of object. So for this, I want to convert this into, split this into the structures. Asha is the subject, has documented is the verb, and report is the object. So as a result, Asha has documented a report became, a report has been documented by Asha. That means in terms of the report I am speaking here in the passive voice. In the active voice, in terms of the subject I am speaking, but coming to passive voice, in terms of the object I started my sentence. So here my object becomes a subject here in the passive voice, right? This is actually a object and this is subject. This is subject, and see how I am going to show you the easiest way. See, has documented becomes has been documented. That means has becomes has been in the present perfect tenses. If has been becomes have been, if has becomes has been, in the same manner have becomes have been. Okay, this is active voice and passive voice verb changing. So when a verb in an active voice is has, coming to passive voice, has gets converted into has been. If it is have gets converted into have been in a passive voice. That's what we have done here. Very simple. Has got converted into has been. So, and the starting of the sentence began with the object, and finally it is followed by a word V3 plus by plus subject. So beginning plus has plus been. In the beginning it started with object plus has been plus V3 plus by plus subject. This is the required structure for present perfect tense. Then what about the negative sentence? In fact, this is a positive sentence, right? And what about the negative sentence? A positive sentence got converted into negative sentence, that is, Asha has not documented a report. Okay, so this I changed into passive voice by starting my sentence in terms of the object. When you convert, when you split this into the structure, this Asha occupies the subject's place, has not documented occupies the verb's place, and a report occupies the object's place, right? So when you are reading this sentence, Asha has not documented report, you're reading in terms of Asha, but when it comes to passive voice, our sentence was completely changed here. Finally, it became a report has not been documented by Asha. That means you are speaking in terms of the object, that is the report. The report becomes an object, has plus not plus been plus this is V3 plus by plus subject. So this is the required structure for negative active voice of present perfect, and this is the required passive voice for positive active voice of present perfect. Remember, has got converted into has been. In the same way, has not gets converted into has not been. Is it clear? Same as have got converted into have been in passive voice. In the same manner, have not gets converted into have not been. Clear? So these are small techniques that you have to follow. This is in the active voice and this is in the passive voice. In the active voice, has, when it is has, when it becomes passive voice, has gets converted into has been. If it is a negative contraction, has not gets converted into has not been in the passive voice. Okay? In the same way, have becomes have been in the passive voice and have not becomes have not been in the passive voice. So mainly we have to focus the main helping verb area. We have to focus on the area of the helping verb most of the time. And we have completed finding some sort of passive voices with positive and negative sentences. And let us see how a question is going to be formed in the present perfect tenses. A questioning active voice. See, has Asha documented a report? Yes, it started with has because it's a perfect tense, that is in present tense. So has should be kept as it is. Consider from this place. Asha is the subject, documented is the verb, a report is object. Now a report, we have begun with our sentence with a report, right? So a report is a plural subject. So has agrees here always to have a question in the passive voice. Has a report plus been plus documented means this is V3 plus by plus subject. This is by plus subject. This is been plus this is object and has plus object. So finally this is like this: has plus object plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. And the existing question is, has a report been documented by Asha? So students, is it very clear to you that in the simple tenses, in the passive form, we used is, okay, and in the continuous tense, we used is being or are being. But now in the perfect tenses, we are using been, okay, has, have, had plus been. These are the identifying words that you have to see. Is, being, been. These are the identifying words that you have to focus on when converting an active voice into passive voice in the respective tenses. Well, students, I think this is quite understandable for you. I hope everyone understood this. Now I would like to give you few more examples based on the perfect tenses. So far we have done some examples with a singular object. Now let us deal some more examples with plural object. Now I want to rub the whole space and give you a new example based on the plural object, and we are going to do few more sentences for us. See what we are going to do here. My mom has prepared my mom has baked cookies. This is my example. Okay, my mom has baked cookies. I would like to give you little more explanation regarding this. This is my active voice. In this, my mom has baked cookies. I converted this, I split this into the subject. Has baked is my verb and cookies is my object. Now, I would like to convert my passive voice into active voice. Active voice into passive voice. To convert my active into passive voice, I would like to take the help of the object first of all in the initial stage. So, I am collecting my object to the front part, that is subject part, O, plus my structure is this, has or have, plus been, plus V3, plus by, plus subject. This is my subject for the respective tense. Okay. So, in fact, this is not my tenses structure. In fact, this is my voice structure. So, this is my passive voice structure for my given active voice. Okay, in the given respective tense. Hence, I happen to use here has or have with the combination of been. This is a very important area what you have to notice here. In the perfect tenses, always you come across with been in the perfect tenses in passive voice. In the continuous tenses, always you come across with being. Okay, in passive voices followed by V3. And in simple tenses, always you come across with am, is, are, was, all these things in the simple tenses. So, you should not forget this small technique at all. This is a small code for us to remember the respective passive voices in the given respective tenses. Especially for the perfect tenses, always been is activating more. It is an identification mark for us. So, let us create an example by the given structure for passive voice. Object, what is the object here? Very good, cookies. Cookies, though cookies are my object in my previous sentence, but now coming to passive voice, cookies has become my main subject here. So, respective to my main subject, I have to take the verb agreement. Okay, cookies plus, and you know very well, has always flexible to the singular and have is always flexible to the plural. Okay, so cookies are plural or singular? Very good, they are plural. So, I am going to take have as it is here. Cookies have plus been plus, what's the V3 form? Bake. Baked, same V3, that's more beneficial for us. See, in terms of the simple tenses and continuous tenses, the verb form was quite changing. We have to search for V3 form, but now it's prepared on the spot. It's a ready-made hot cake for us. You can pick up the V3 form from there as it is and put it here, paste it. It's something like a copy paste. Been plus baked plus by plus subject. What was the subject that we are speaking about in the sentence? Very good, it's my mom. My mom. See how beautifully the passive voice present perfect sentence has been formed. That's a positive sentence with plural subject in the passive voice. So cookies have been baked by my mom. So this is the final passive voice existing sentence. Alright. So this is how we can easily understand and prepare the different types of passive voices in present perfect. Now let us have some more examples with negative sentences. This is a positive sentence. In fact, I didn't give you appropriate structure for the negative sentences previously, so we are going to do it now. Don't worry about it. And I would like to make this positive sentence into negative. And I want to use not to the sentence, and finally my sentence became a negative sentence. Now it's my negative active voice. My mom has not baked cookies. Alright? Now I would like to convert this negative active voice into negative passive voice. Even for converting this negative active voice into negative passive voice, I would like to follow the same rule, that's the same structure that we followed in our previous topics, that was with simple and continuous tenses. For my passive voice, before going to deal with passive voice, I would like to split my sentence into the structure. That's my mom is a subject and has not baked is a verb. Of course there is a negative contraction here, but still it stands as a verb, and cookies is my object. Now when I convert my negative sentence, negative active sentence, into a passive sentence of negativity, I would like to take the object initially, object plus has or have plus not plus been. See the change? Previously we got has became has been, or have became have been. But coming to negative sentence, hasn't became hasn't been, and haven't becomes haven't been. That is the difference. Okay, if you understand this simple difference, this is very easy for you. You need not to worry about it. That's what we added here. We added a not here to just convert this negative active into negative passive. So been plus, this is V3 plus by plus subject. So students, let us substitute all the words that are provided to us in the active voice. So my object is what? What is my object here? Cookies. Very good. Cookies. I hope everybody likes them, right? Cookies. Cookies is the plural subject here when it comes to passive voice. So I should always go for positive plural agreement of the verb, that is have. If it is a singular, I should go for has, as how we did in our previous example. Cookies have not, very good, been, not, been, have, plus V3 form. It's already ready made for us there, provided, okay, baked by, what's the subject here? My mom. None other than the other person, that's my mom. My mom. See how beautifully the negative sentence has been formed here, making cookies as my plural subject in my passive voice. So now what I'm doing here, I'm gonna remove this plus in my sentence. Remove all the pluses in my sentence. So finally I prepared a passive voice sentence here out of active voice negative sentence, that is, my mom has baked cookies became cookies have not been baked by my mom. Okay, my mom has not baked cookies. That means when you observe these two sentences, the first sentence is spoken from mother's side. Okay, from the mother's side in terms of mother. When you speak passive voice, when you concentrate on passive voice, cookies have not been baked by my mother or by mom. You are beginning your sentence in terms of cookies, means the first priority is given to the cookies, not your mom. But in the active voice, the first priority is given to your mom. From your mother's side you are speaking your active sentence, and from cookies side you are speaking your passive voice sentence. Okay, so I hope you understood it very clearly now. Okay, now let us deal with some more examples with questions. I want to make a question with this. That is, has my mom baked cookies? This is my example. Has my mom baked cookies? This is my active voice question in the present perfect tense. For this I am going to prepare a passive voice question too. But what I am doing here, as usual, I am going to leave this questioning helping verb as it is in its place, and I want to concentrate on the next part of my sentence, that is, from my mom to the cookies. My mom, I took it as my subject, baked is the verb, and cookies I considered it as my object. Now, to convert my active voice question into passive voice question, I am just concentrating on the object first. I am bringing my object down, cookies. Okay, or yeah, cookies means it is the object, plus, suppose if the object is singular, you have to go with has, but here cookies itself indicates that it's a plural object, so go for have cookies been plus V3 plus by plus subject and question mark. This is my passive voice question. So finally I am going to make an example out of this. Let me do it. In place of have, I am writing have as it is, plus object. What is the object there? Cookies. Very good. Have cookies plus been plus V3. What's the V3 here for baked? Same as it is, it's already provided in the question itself. Baked plus by plus subject. What's the subject here? It's not has because it is occupying the first part of the sentence. No, it's not that. It's my mom. My mom is going to be the subjects here. It's my mom. And question mark. See, an active voice question got converted into a passive voice question. And now I am going to remove all the places that I placed in between each and every word that I used here. So finally this has become, have cookies been baked by my mom? This is the question. You are questioning in terms of your mom in your active voice, but coming to passive voice, you are still questioning, but not in terms of your mom, but it is in terms of your cookies. Okay, so this is about the conversion of the present perfect relevant active voices into relevant passive voices. Well students, I hope you clearly understood this area, right? Now we are going to concentrate on the past perfect tenses examples. Now we are going to make some examples with past perfect tenses on the basis of active and passive voices. See, in my past perfect tense, most of the time I take the help of had, as you know it very well. had always indicates the past perfect tense. So always you should go ahead to identify whether a given active voice is present perfect or past perfect by identifying their main helping verb. So here the identification part for us in past perfect tense is it's had. Okay. So now I am going to give you one more example. Rani has switched on the light. This is my example. Rani has switched on the light, and in I'm supposed to take had. Yeah, Rani had switched on the light because had indicates past perfect. So I happen to take had now. Based on this sentence, I would like to convert the given sentence into passive voice. Before converting this into passive voice, again I am following my own previous rule, splitting the sentence according to the structure. Rani is subject, had switched on. Okay, switched on. See, here because there is on, we cannot say that this is something, a new word that got added here. Switch on, switch off. Of course, these are two different words, but these two can be considered as one particular word. So we call it as a compound word. Okay. So that's how we got this as a compound word. So this can be taken as a one particular word for us. Switch on, switch off, as there is a word for us. Okay. So in our previous examples we have discussed that we cannot convert a sentence active voice in which it is an intransitive tense, right? So but here on cannot be considered as a preposition. On is a combination word with switched. So had switched on is indicating a sort of action, an activity is being performed here in the sentence. So obviously this can be converted into a passive voice. So students, there are certain sentences which really confuses us, so don't get confused about them. If you have a little bit deep explanation about those particular sentences, it's well and good and it's very easy for you. Okay, now I divided my sentence like this: subject, verb, and this is my object. Now I would like to convert this into my passive voice. So what is the structure that I am following here for the passive voice? As we have already discussed earlier, the same structure we are going to follow, that is object plus had plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. This is the structure that we are following, right? Okay, so here this is something very comfortable for us. In the present perfect tense, there was a problem with has and have to identify, right? So it should suit the subject that it is agreeing with. Okay, but here in this case it's not like that. Had is agreeable to either singular subject or plural subject. Already we discussed this. So for us in this area there is no issue at all. We can very easily deal with the passive voices. So object, what is the object here? The light. Okay, plus had plus been and plus V3. What is the V3 for switched? Obviously switched. V3 plus by plus subject. What is the subject here? Rani. Good. So we got the subject as Rani. Now you try to remove all the pluses here provided in the sentence. The light had been, okay, let me give you a word here. Been plus switched on plus by plus Rani. Okay, this is my subject. Now I am removing all the pluses. Here switched on, I considered it here as one particular word. I didn't separate these two. Of course, I call it as a compound word. What's a compound word? A word which has got more than one word in it is a compound word. For example, in is one of the words. To is one of the words. If I combine both these words and write side by side, it becomes into. It's a compound word. Is it clear? Move is one of the words. Across is one of the words. If I join them both, move across has become one of the particular phrasal word which gives a sensible meaning when it is used in the sentences. Okay, so that's how we did here. Switched on is correct for us. Alright, this is about the conversion of positive past perfect sentence into positive past perfect passive voice. Positive past perfect active voice got converted into positive past perfect passive voice. Then what about negative? That's quite simple. Just when you add not here, Rani had not switched on the light. When you convert this here, in between had and been, not takes place. Object plus had plus not plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. So here obviously here instead of had you can take had been, had not been. Okay, so the light had not been switched on by Rani. This is how we deal with the positive and negative active voices into the positive and negative passive voices respective to past perfect tenses. Alright, and what about questioning? Questioning also quite easy for us. Let's see how we are going to form a question in the past perfect tense.